So with this slight mindful attitude, we can discuss a little bit more, especially about feelings, about, in Pali, the word Vedana, the felt experience. So it's come to basic distinction, what we discussed some time ago, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And today we discuss a little bit how else we can divide this experience of feelings and why it's recommended or why it's encouraged to understand what source was for this or that feeling, and also in a way classify feelings. So the most maybe direct practical instruction, of course, we can find in Satipaṭṭhāna sutta, in a section about feelings. It just says that, like, the person, meditator, he tried to stay in domain of feelings, observing feelings. It's one way how can be translated these sentences. Another way how can be translated it's he see feelings as feelings. So he not kind of misunderstands it, or it's just something else. It's, I don't know, it's me or my or something. He just sees it, it just felt experience. It just arises and pass away. Or it speak about like deep, continuous mindfulness and undistracted presence. So he just decide, now I would be watching my feelings, and he just stayed in the domain, just watching this area of feelings. Either way, I mean, yeah. And so how he do it? And whenever pleasant feelings arise, he just know there is a pleasant feelings in me. So this is a kind of stock phrase about different kinds of feelings, but here the important things, one thing, there is some pleasant feelings or any other kind of feelings. So it means something happening. There is some experience happening. He's not like imagining things. And second things, he know, okay, there is some kind of feelings arise. So one thing, something happening, another thing, recognition of this. So just kind of understanding, okay, this is happening. And then sutta introduced us the two, because last time we discussed it can be pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, and neutral feelings, kind of three basic distinction. And this sutta introduced these two terms. They call it samisa or niramisa, or in English would be like material or worldly or non-material, like spiritual. Or more literal translation would be like fleshy. You know, something, I think even in English, some expression you can say something worldly, we can call it fleshy, like something like raw experience. And it's referring to sensual pleasure usually. So something to do with sense. It can also include the mind, but it's more like something to do with daily normal life, nothing to do with spiritual progress, nothing to do with development. And with pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, related to sensual pleasure, it's basic things we all know, like whatever, maybe from taste food or hear the sound. For example, the sound we hear every day now, maybe not so pleasant sometimes. So again, this can be kind of worldly, pleasant, unpleasant. Neutral, it's more kind of subtle. And interestingly, that with bodily, like whatever I observe, and I discuss with many other people, always people say that, okay, at the beginning maybe it seems there is a neutral feelings in related to the body, but then with more close attention, actually it's not a neutral. It's a little bit pleasant or a little bit unpleasant. So it's always not zero. It's always like up and down with proper mindfulness. But when it's come from different sense, because we know feelings may come from any sense. Bodily, it's only one thing. From seeing, I see something, I can feel something, or I hear something, same way. So this is, I would say, more subtle, because sometimes you see something and you just feel nothing, but you know that you feel nothing. You know, this is a neutral experience when there is something, but you cannot say it's pleasant or unpleasant, even with a like sharp enough mindfulness. And usually, it's much more easy to recognize it with different sense rather than body, maybe mind as well. So yeah, but that's what we discuss with samisa, like related to worldly or fleshy or like non-spiritual. But when we speak about spiritual, it's also divided to pleasant spiritual, unpleasant spiritual, and neutral spiritual. And I think this also, like if we speak about spiritual progress, what can be pleasant feelings related to spiritual? The basic things, like when we sit and meditate and our meditation is good and we feel pleasant, mind is peaceful, mind is settled, mind is sometimes joyful. So this is a pleasant, it's a vedana, it's a mental, like pleasant feelings, what related to spiritual progress. Unpleasant feelings, it's more like, at least in suttas they mention that if I sit, for example, and maybe my meditation doesn't go really well, and I see, maybe I open my eyes and I see another person who really look like he meditates well and he make a progress, and I feel like I would also like. So it's not exactly jealousy, but it's kind of, I would say, spiritual inspiration. You know that your direction goes somewhere, and you know that there, when you reach that place, it would be a really good state of mind. It would be peaceful and comfortable and so on, but you're not yet there. So, and you feel this kind of longing or inclination, and it's a little bit unpleasant. It's not that I'm already there, yeah. Like it's still I have to do work to reach there. So it's this kind of unpleasant spiritual feelings. Or even in long term, you know someone who really advanced in terms of maybe his stream enter or even arahant, and you appreciate this quality in general, not only meditation but in general, like lifestyle, and you kind of incline your mind, oh, I would like to have similar quality, but I don't have yet there. So these kind of things. So it's very kind of subtle line, because if I would feel the similar things in worldly domain, if I, for example, see this car and I say, oh, it would be good if, they offer for me this car, yeah? This kind of thing. So this, I mean, similar pattern, yeah? Once I see for some spiritual achievement and I feel kind of longing for this. Another thing, I seek for for physical things or material. But you may see, whenever you like observe your state of mind, when you have this like longing or craving or like desire for something material, you feel your mind more like become a little bit rough, become not subtle, become a little bit, yeah, it's both of them unpleasant. But these kind of things, it's more heavy in a way. Like, I don't know, difficult to clarify, but this, just by pure observation, you may see that some things, when you, for example, feel that, okay, I would like to have peace of mind, and yet I don't have yet it there, but I would like, and your inclination to that direction already make your mind a little bit there. So you kind of, okay, at least you inspire by something good, and you feel after this, you feel okay, like I need to do something. I'm kind of good guy, yeah. I need to do the job. But when I like incline my mind towards something material, yeah, like I can get some satisfaction because I can get something maybe, but this satisfaction doesn't really last long. Like all this kind of physical, like material things. Yeah. So, and if we speak about neutral, like spiritual things, it's a pure equanimity. So the proper balance of mind, this kind of, yeah, like settlement, maybe we would say. So again, like how to classify felt experience, it can be in many various way. In some other suttas we can division for 5 different kinds of feelings. In some other suttas it's 18, and then 36, 108. So there are different kind of ways how you can divide felt experience. Okay, this is worldly, come from seeing experience. This is spiritual, come from mind, and so on. So it can be divided in many ways. But the question is why we kind of need to divide our experience, why we need to clearly, because sutta say, he know clearly there is a pleasant worldly feelings, or he know clearly there is unpleasant not worldly feelings, or in some other suttas, pleasant or unpleasant mental or physical. So there's also division like this. So again, why we need to divide this? It's an open question. Why we need to divide this? Detached. Yeah. Well, this is a good one. So to kind of see that the feelings, one thing, they can come from different sources. Like once we divide the experience and see that this experience based on something, very easy, as has been said, like detached, become disidentify. The see that it's just experience based on some condition. This condition change, experience change. How am I really cling to it and say, oh, it's mine? Like I feel now painful feelings, for example, and I feel like, okay, I'm miserable person. But then next moment something change, and I feel pleasant, and again like, oh, I'm happy person, and then miserable person, happy person. If I identify with this experience, like I really seek or follow or really run for this experience and cannot be at peace actually, because this any experience, even spiritual pleasant experience, it doesn't last forever. Yeah, like you meditate, you calm, you're good, then you stand, you engage in some whatever daily routine, daily activity, and then it's change. It may become even to unpleasant experience or some. Even hunger itself is not a pleasant, but we all have a body. If we not eat in proper time, we feel hungry, and it's nothing to do with kind of me or my. It's just things what arise by condition. And the more and more we reflect on this, okay, this is kind of based on conditions. The more we can be detached, and the more we can be in a way happy. But happy, interesting is that in suttas they call nibbana that ultimate happiness, ultimate sukha. And we kind of know that nibbana has nothing to do with pleasure. Yeah, it's not that, but it's just absence of dukkha, absence of pain, absence of any, even like unpleasant or pleasant or neutral kind of any experience. Ultimately, have these three characteristics, like and nibbana is beyond of these things. When we speak about happiness of nibbana, it's something more subtle. So I wish all of you to experience and understand, even temporary, what is this happiness of spirituality. Sad.